Please join in the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody. I know it's chilly in here, so try not to take up too much time. I make a motion to approve the Selectmen's non-public minutes of November 7th.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Chuck.
We're going too fast for you. Don't forget to shut off the thing when you go into non-public.
You're joking, but watch it well.
Okay now? Okay, I make a motion to approve the work session minutes of November 9th.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Make a motion to approve the Selectmen's minutes of November 15th.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. And the first non-public of November 15th, to make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. And I make a motion to approve the Selectmen's second non-public.
Second it.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Make a motion to approve the manifest dated December 1st in the amount of $293,434.74.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
And
School-
what about that?
School payment, 200 and something thousand.
207,706.
Yeah. In the mail folder, we didn't have much. Other than raise the limit on a grant that we're not eligible for. And
The photo credit.
yeah, you have a photo for that? Something?
Yeah, actually, we have one that
For
we
the
had.
town hall?
Yeah, and we had it taken professionally. And it's a really good shot. Linda Fairchild took it.
Yeah.
So I'll forward that over to Melissa.
Okay.
Can we see it before?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you
but-
tonight.
Okay, I'd like to see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it the one that's on the front of the town report? 2 years ago? Okay.
No, it's everyone. I'll
Uh,
send an email to.
And an LG grant.
Yeah, the MLCHIP grant that we didn't get, that was grant 3. Is it?
That would have been grant 3, correct?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we had a
We didn't
debrief
get it.
call with them in January.
And the White House.
And White Horse, they look asking for donations for scholarship fund. Anybody's interested, and membership for the New Hampshire Municipal Association is also in there. Administrative comments, have you anything, Audrey? Don't forget to turn off the thing.
Olivia looked around to see how the other towns around us are handling the transfer station hours over Christmas weekend, that Saturday and Sunday. And most of them are open till early afternoon on Saturday, and then they have Sunday off, they're closed. So I would like to put something on our town website based on what the three of you can discuss. Do you want to close it at 2? Do you want to close it at 3? No one closes at what, 4?
Yeah. Well, 4:30.
And then they,
4:30.
This is Christmas Eve, you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
The Saturday.
my initial recommendation was to close at noon, but the other towns are open a little bit later.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be closed Sunday, so
Right.
3.
I think that sounds good. 3 Saturday.
Okay,
And close Sunday.
I'll put that on our website. It was Christmas Day, of course. Thank you. The health officer isn't here, but I was gonna request when he submits letters that he submits them to Rebecca or David so that they can get put into the property file. I had one that he had handed out in a meeting, but if it's something that they should be aware of when they visit the property, it should be in the
So-
property file.
Are you getting a copy of it so we can put it on the digital archive?
Well, I'll scan it into the digital, but no one had received it, so we wouldn't know about it, so seems like that's where, a place where it should be if so Rebecca and David don't do anything against what the health officer wanted.
And if he's created an official document for distribution, then your office, David, and Rebecca should, all three of you be on that communication. It should be scanned as a digital file. PDF.
I'm on vacation next week. The major things I have to get done are making sure our insurance is good. You know, that we don't have to sign any renewals for Primex, and I get the renewal for the 2 police officers that are on the health plan and get those submitted to Health Trust. Also in your packets was the budget chairman provided a new schedule for the January meetings, because if you continue to have evening meetings, there's gonna be a conflict. Am I saying it correctly, Dave? So there is a proposed schedule. If anyone has any issue, we should come to an agreement of when else to do it. I didn't see a problem with it.
Yeah, the 10th and 24th, you're already scheduled, if you kept on your 2-week schedule, because you originally had said that you were gonna be evaluating that, and I assume now where you went to work sessions every other week, you're gonna continue it into next year. So I just kept it, I changed that to the 10th and the 24th, assuming you're gonna keep on the same schedule you got right now.
Personally,
And then you'll see the 24th is the final warrant article review. Budget committee, I have planned to meet with you right after your meeting to make sure we have everything done, because that's the time frame we're getting squeezed. We have to get the 737 out and the public hearing, so we're gonna need to try and meet that 25th date, if not the one date after that, if hot is drop dead, we have to in order to meet the state deadline, so those are the dates that I gave Audrey.
The 10th and the 24th.
And then to the right of that, the budget committee dates, we'll be meeting on the 24th with you guys after you.
So we'll keep the board agenda short that day.
But if not, you'll have a lot of people.
So you'll be okay with that schedule, everybody's schedule?
As
Yeah.
far as I know.
Okay, and I just gave Vicky the
Land,
bill, do not pass go signs. And then these other things are in your business packet, so I can wait on it. Oh, I wanted to know, I had a call from Joe Kingston, Library Board of Trustees. I don't have anything in my minutes where we accepted him. Do you need the library to send a recommendation? Should I ask the library to send a recommendation? Do you remember that name at all?
I don't remember doing it. I would check with Amanda and ask her,
Okay,
resend what she did. If she did send it, resend it. If not, we need something.
I don't remember seeing it.
okay, so I'm gonna reach out to the library, and then once you guys appoint him, then he can be sworn in. Because he just wanted to come in and get sworn in.
Yep.
I don't recognize the name either. Okay, that's all I have for right now.
Okay. Vicky? Yeah, anything?
not really, other than we're gonna try again to get the refrigerators and ACs picked up. Cause they never showed up the last time. So they're supposed to be coming
Yeah, it's just
tomorrow.
drain
so-
free on, they're not
Yeah,
taking them.
right.
Yeah.
So,
I let Brad know that. So.
If you let me know as soon as it's completed, then I can do a white goods pickup.
I do what?
Okay.
White goods,
Oh.
yeah. And I might need to know, are they in Gaylords or after?
No, they usually get a dumpster come in and they wheel it into a dumpster,
Okay,
roll off.
And Mark is not going to be there
for a few days.
for a few days after tomorrow. For health, that's it. And, Rebel, what's his name?
Bill.
Bill is gonna be taking over and in charge
Yeah, he'll be in charge.
while Mark is out. Other than that. That's it.
At the work session last week, I briefly covered, and I'll cover it again here. I set in on a legal mediation call regarding the Milo case with town council and the judge, and they came down with a decision, which we agreed to at our work session last week, with a small reduction in the assessed value down to $565,000. I was also on a call with Mike Cahalan regarding the FEMA grant for High Watch Road for the two culverts that we agreed to go after. And essentially what the grant request came back as, because they're similar and they're related, please combine the two of them into one. So that's actually being done by HEB. It's like 1.4 million or something like that. And they wanted some additional clarification on the calculation of a rate, and I forget what the name of that rate is, but it has to do with the volume of traffic that would be going over each of those culverts on an average daily basis. So I reached out to Sarah's Courteous Canines and got information from Sarah. Mike is reaching out to High Watch, information from them, and we're probably gonna touch base with a couple of the homeowners that are above the lower culvert, just to make sure we're not jipping ourselves relative to the volume that needs to be in the calculation.
Excuse me.
That will be done within a week.
You had a call with who, HEB or state?
No, it was FEMA.
Oh.
Yeah, and HEB was on it. Had a call yesterday, Grace and I did, with the Hampshire Preservation Alliance. It was discussing different grant opportunities that could be available for us to go after. Andrew Cushing is doing some additional research for us and gonna give us an email with a bunch of things. And Grace and I are making an appointment to go up to the USDA office in Conway to resurrect our discussion we had up there a year and a half ago regarding possible USDA grants. The library plaster work, the interior coats of plaster on walls and ceilings should be completed by Friday this week. There'll be some additional small work on one of the walls. The hardwood lumber has arrived. It's currently setting in storage. That will be moved into the library in the next week or two. It needs to set there for 2 solid weeks in a drying format, so it basically gets used to the moisture content of the building before they lay it down. And they're hoping to have the whole thing laid down, sanded, and poly-coated by Christmas week. So that's the target at this point. Shortly after the first of the year, there'll be a reopening of the library. Hiring notice, Audrey, have we got anything out regarding Deanna's job? Have we put anything out in newspapers, or I didn't see anything on the town website today?
I believe I had sent it to the webmaster. And then we have it just posted here with email it to a couple people. I have not put it on NHMA or in the paper. I did with Tim here, Tim, our auditor, we, talked it through, and Barbara's willing to be appointed, and then people would, because whoever you hire is only until election. And so that person would be here for maybe 30 days, and then they would have to decide in those 30 days if they're going to sign and run. We have one applicant, we have maybe another one. She's thinking about it. But no, for advertisement, it's only been,
I don't see any value in NHMA because it's
Right.
gotta come from a citizen of
Have to be
town,
an
and that really
applicant,
wouldn't
yeah.
be applicable, but I'm thinking about if we put something in the Conway Sun, because a lot of our citizens do
I'll,
read that,
Read that.
yeah,
I'll ask Teresa to put it front and center on the website
yeah,
and in the Conway Sun.
I think we should do that, okay, thank you on that.
Okay.
Pete, are we gonna talk about the animal and the police detail thing today, or,
Yeah, when we get to business.
got it, okay? That's all I had for the time being.
Okay. Have we seen any inspection reports from HEB? I haven't seen nothing since
What
day
was it,
8.
Yeah, there was a slew.
There's like 10 or 15 of them on the website.
Yeah, there was a slew of them that came in last week.
Oh, okay.
I think I definitely sent them to Teresa for the website.
Oh,
and asked her to
when I
put
was
them
in there this morning, they
Yeah.
sent her on the page, and there's like 10 or 15 of them that are there.
Oh, right.
So I can, it's a super hassle, all those attachments, printing them, but I can either print them for you or forward you the email so you can open them up individually. Or you can go to the website.
I'll
I
go to
just
the
was
website.
wondering if they were coming in. Cause I asked Eric a couple times.
Yeah,
He says, well, I send them to Chris. So,
right, after a little poking and prodding, I did get a flurry of them, and,
Okay.
they should be getting us the final ones pretty soon.
Okay. Yeah, Jake's cleaning up down there and moving equipment out, so pretty much wrapped up for the winter. And they did take all the steel out of the lake, I mean, out of the river that they were gonna leave in originally, but we took it all out. Weather stayed with it, so we'll get it out. Water's been flowing through it, going through pretty good, so a lot of people are happy.
And since the culverts were enough, they were.
Yeah, I mean,
For the
it's going through
flow.
the box culvert, the new culvert, so.
Okay.
The old ones, the overflow culverts are in there, but I don't know if they're gonna leave them in there for the winter and rip them up when they do the road in spring. Or what they don't know. I didn't get to talk to anybody today. So. And nobody, JT, Joe hasn't said anything, got to you about the cruises and, okay. Then you can ask JT when he comes in, so.
JT can't make it tonight,
Oh, he can't?
No.
Okay,
so that one non-public thing he asked me to address for him.
okay, all right. Okay, we'll move on to the business, the budget for payroll expenses, 4155.
Okay, you had left me with a couple action items on these last week after the work session.
Yeah.
4155. I did look up, you wanted me to double check what the retirement rates would be July 23rd. So I did that, and it could be as low as 50,000. Because the rates are actually going down. I know.
Really?
What the heck?
Hmm.
So for the second 6 months, it'll go down, but I recommend that you leave a buffer because of any overtime for the police department.
Okay,
So you had voted to accept it already last Tuesday. So I didn't modify it at all from that date.
Okay,
So you could do that one, okay.
I didn't hear you.
I'm good with that.
And on the insurance one, I did the short term, long term, life, there's no change to long term or life. Short term was going up a very small percentage, and I applied that to the weekly amounts for people applicable. I came up with 885, so I put that in compared to the 1,000 that was in there last time. I double checked the health insurance, liability, and workers' comp and unemployment, and so this is now in at 89,392.
any questions?
So you reduced it from what we had approved, right?
You didn't approve it,
We
we
didn't
tabled
approve
it.
it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually did reduce the health insurance. I made that the correct numbers. No, because I had, in my original presentation, I had the dental and the town paid portion, so I moved it out. So I moved out the dental and I did the short-term and long-term disability.
Any questions, Vicky? Sir?
No.
I make a motion to approve 4196 insurance in the amount of $89,392.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On the waste management contract, last week you had asked me, Chuck is gonna take a look at what Primex, the comments they made, and they got back to me to go ahead and forward it to town attorney for language. So that will be tabled till I hear back from.
Can we just let Pete know that we've sent it
Yeah.
off, we've reviewed it with Primex and we've sent it off at their recommendation to legal counsel for review, just so he knows we're
Right.
moving forward with it.
Okay,
Okay, the ambulance contract,
that was a group ambulance meeting that Chuck and I attended, and they proposed at that meeting to extend the ambulance contract, and I provided you and Vicky with a copy of the contract last week that you're familiar
Mhm.
with, and you know, decide from there.
It's the same annual cost escalator of 3% that's in that one with the next one, so.
Yeah.
It's consistent right along the way.
we have to vote on that. Correct?
Yeah.
Make a motion to extend the ambulance contract with action.
Second,
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that only moves forward if all 6 towns agree to it.
Right, and I'm only aware of one other at the moment, but I'll verify.
Do you know who that is?
I think it was Tamworth. Right, are they one of the towns? I think it was
think
Tamworth,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought they were unhappy. It's not.
I didn't update the Elm Street RFP today. I realized, after last week's work session, I came away with all the action items and it was a holiday week, so I didn't get this one done.
Okay. Good
I read the
excuse,
minutes and I was like, how'd that happen?
good excuse. The animal ordinance,
The question I had about, Chuck, what you edited was, if it needs to go to town meeting or if we need to hold 2 public hearings to adopt.
Public hearing going in.
I think 2. Right, it's an ordinance, it's not just a policy or a procedure like the transfer station funds.
And we can validate that.
So that's what I was, that was my only question.
The change they made in there with the other designee is because the county has shown up multiple times in our town regarding animal-related information, and this would allow them the capability to move if they needed to. And if our animal control officer wasn't available and we had to go to another animal control officer from another town to assist us in a one-time event, by using that, just that other designee language would allow us to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Short, sweet, does the job. And it references the correct RSA.
We have 2 public hearings.
Um,
What if we just put it to town meeting? Would you still have to have a public hearing?
Mhm.
No,
No?
I mean, we could do the public hearing in coordination with our selectmen's meetings.
I did write to NHMA to ask them, because there were ones that were, if the town was over 10,000 people, and so I have a little difficulty sometimes navigating the RSAs of what this would fall under and when you can do it and what you can do, and
It's an ordinance. We'd be good doing that, but you can validate it with them. That way, if there's a question that comes up,
Yeah.
we'll know whether we're gonna do 1 or 2. And if we coordinate it with our regular meetings, then we don't have to do any special meetings beyond that. We just
right.
pick a time at one of our meetings and that's we'll cover it.
So I'll let you know when I hear back from NHMA and if
And
it's
talk
public
about,
meeting. Yeah.
talk about it next Tuesday.
yeah,
We get a work session at 11 next Tuesday.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
okay.
And the other thing that was under business that I handed out was the police special detail revolving fund. And attached to it was copies that Dave Strauss had also done the research. And I had plagiarized it, Dave, the Fremont one. They actually had 2 separate ones and I combined them. And I think the biggest recommendation is having the funds go into the general account, and the way I anticipated it was that the funds would remain in the revolving account, and when the police needed to buy a new tire or something like that, you could choose to expend the money. So it would be only for police. And I did clarify with the auditor today that the benefits that are listed, that's what my question had been, would be the FICA and Medicare. Yeah,
Mhm.
so the checks for the detail would come out of a separate checking account. And that checking account would be similar to the transfer station account, except that it would pay details. But it would build up for the police.
I wanna make sure we get the administrative fee in there too.
You do want that in there,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how I would do that.
Well, the Fremont, the Article 20 on the Fremont one is definitely pretty decent language with it. We could modify the verbiage on it.
So I would imagine that they probably have a police administrator.
No, this is for you to process all the checks and the accounting and everything else. There's typically a 15 to 20% add-on on special details that only covers administration. That's why when we originally did it, we had 75 is what we were charging for detail, 50 is what we paid, because the administration and the cost of the cruiser, we ran the numbers, was averaged about $25 an
So
hour.
you would want the bookkeeper in when she, for the invoicing and posting of the receipt and running the paychecks to charge an hour or a half hour, whatever it took her.
It becomes part of the overall revenue. No, what I want to, when you take a look at the Fremont one, so what they're doing is they're collecting it, and it goes into their fund. So we would collect it, it would go into the fund, and we pay out the wages, the remainder would stay in the fund.
Okay,
We could use it for administrative.
all right,
We have a way to charge it for administrative, we have a way to charge it for cruiser time. I'm a little apprehensive in using it for radios and tires, because we actually have other budget items that do that better.
so on the Fremont one, are you talking about the administrative costs under the second sentence of the?
No, I'm talking generally with police, yeah, it is administrative costs underneath theirs, but typically these arrangements, in all of these arrangements, they charge an hourly rate plus an admin.
Right,
So the town I used to work for, when I used to do the billing, they automatically took whatever the rate was and they added 15% right on top of the rate, and that's what they're billed.
okay,
Nowadays, they're negotiated rates up front. We basically have to go to them and say, what is your rate per hour? Included in that rate needs to be the wages, cruisers, and admin. So that's why we originally did that 75.50. Now that I know which I wasn't aware of, we're paying $70 in some of the details. We're not covering our admin,
right.
so we need to have a discussion with the chief around how he wants to deal with that.
So on the second page, the one with the NHMA advice on it from Dave, the line he crossed out, benefits, administrative costs, supplies, equipment, and cruises, you want me to leave in? And then the second line he crossed out, also put back in.
So the line that you crossed out on the top line, where it says benefits, administrative, supplies, equipment, and cruisers, I'd leave that in there.
Well, the reason I did that is because you guys had talked about not putting it in, and then you were gonna negotiate the rate like we always have as a town. So if you did end up charging that rate, you would get that whole amount to come into this fund. And then if you put the escalator of the cap of what the fund would be, you would get that money to go back to the general fund anyway.
Once
So
it's
you wouldn't
down.
have to go through all the other admin of moving stuff around. That's what I learned by going into other ones, is that whatever you set the rate at, plus your administrative costs, will go into that fund.
And that's,
And then she's only paying out what you negotiated at.
and I'm with you on that. The issue I've got is, now that I know that the concert venue there over on the other side of the lake is doing $70 an hour, and we're paying $70 an hour, we're basically charging 75, but we should be charging 75. $5 isn't enough to cover everything. So we need to have a discussion with the chief to determine how he wants to do that, because he's
We
either
need
gonna
a
have to raise his
policy.
rate,
Yeah,
or we're gonna have to reduce the hourly rate to the guys.
Yeah, but the whole idea of that verbiage, to take that out, was because you originally said you didn't want it in there. So whatever rate you set it at, it'll be charged out, it'll come, when they receive the check back, the whole amount will go into that
Into that
account,
fund.
into that fund.
Yep.
And then, as you pay out for our police, we keep that excess in that fund.
Yep.
And then when it gets to a certain amount, you can put it to the general fund if you wanna do that, that's what my thing thought was, whatever you decided you wanted.
Right, so, yeah, that, I just don't remember having read that when I plagiarized it, but,
I mean, I like the idea of having some kind of a minimum in there, 2,500, $5,000, whatever the number is.
That was in the original one I sent you, Audrey, that was up to you if you wanted.
right,
to
and that's
do
what I
that.
printed out for them, but I would recommend leaving it all in there for police, like you do for transfer, and then if you need a new laptop, and I know you have, trust funds and things, but,
Well, that's a duplication of your efforts, because we have it all in the budgetary that we can control the line item,
Yeah.
as opposed to another trust fund. That would, I mean, we should do what we originally planned to do, make it details, and not, ornaments included. make it details, it's in their budgets, we have a trust fund, I mean, I just hate to be tracking more money spent in other areas that they could pull out. That's why the cap was originally entered, I don't know if that shows on that, what you have in front of you. The cap of 2,500 is what I had seen they had placed a cap in other areas that had this special fund. I just threw 25, that was just a number I picked. Of
What were
2,500.
other towns, were they like up to 5,000 or?
It was all varied on different accounts that they wanted to control, because the RSA says you control that fund however you want.
Right.
It's up to the select board how they want to control that fund. And so I just picked 2,500 because in my mind, you started off with $1, you're gonna be going negative if NHMA agrees with the way I read it, Audrey. You know, you're gonna first establish it as $1, you're gonna be able to charge negative to it till you actually get the funds in and put it into it. And then that would be the full amount of funds, but I felt capping it, and then you saying when it gets up to that certain amount, all of it goes into the general fund. So you're getting your admin costs back. That's what the idea of that cap was. So you didn't have to take it out in the beginning and have to worry about that, but it's however you wanted to do it, it's just I wanted you to have something alternative, because that was a discussion we had.
Do we wanna have Joe in to talk about this
I think we
for
do,
the,
Okay,
for the detailed money? Rates,
because it's gonna make a difference on how we
yeah,
wanna go at this based on what he's doing.
do you want me to invite him in, this coming Tuesday in the work session?
yeah, if you can make it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
might be easier for him.
Thank you.
And for the ordinance, we'll just schedule public hearings.
Check with that NHMA first.
Yeah,
yeah,
To find out what the procedure needs to be, but I think it's at least one, but with a 10 or 15 day notice and then.
yeah. Okay, I'll open it up to, well, actually, no,
do announcements.
yeah, do announcements. Everybody's been waiting for tax bills to be in the mail next week.
And they're up on the website today. You can pay now.
Of course.
Can I add one more announcement?
Sure.
An additional announcement, we'll have a public hearing on December 13th here regarding the Carroll County Communications District Agreement that if the town at the town meeting decides for a warrant article, we want to be part of the district. This is the agreement that will govern our playing in that arena. We will have the consultant that worked on that here. Diane Jarecki, who's the president of the planning committee, will also be here. And we'll answer any questions. It's simple, it's straightforward. The big question that everybody will have is, you know, what's the town obligated to? Absolutely nothing. December 13th.
5 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, public comment? Dave?
Got 4 budget questions I want to ask. Knowing Audrey's gonna be out next week, just so I can have some idea. The bridge grant and the fire grant, can I get an update on where we are with that?
The bridge grant, you mean the money coming from the state?
Yes,
Okay, that's not a grant, it's just funds from the state, and the word, hold on 1 second, this might be the furnace cleaning guy.
Yeah.
The word from the,
Don't let him go.
the word from the state is that it will be out in December, that's what they were all talking about.
That's a heat guy.
Yeah,
My feet are cold too.
Is that why the heat's up?
Well, there's a fault that showed up when we were looking at it, and when you go through it and look at it, it's a combustion code. And I kind of agree with Lenny, it's probably the circuit board's gone, because you couldn't, we tried to reset it as an option and it wouldn't reset.
So you don't think there's something wrong with the furnace, you just think?
No, the furnace is, the circuit board and the furnace is gone, I believe. That's my guess.
So the state said that December is what they're expecting to send that to us?
Yes.
And on the fire grant?
JT dropped it off. There's two, there's a gopher. And Lisa and I are working, it's a priority Thursday to set that up in QuickBooks and get the receipts in for reimbursement. And then there's a second fire grant that I need to read that just got dropped off.
Do you think that we'll be getting any funds back from that this year? Doesn't look like it if we're filing right now, correct?
I don't know how quickly they'll turn them around, but from an accounting point of view, you know, we can still put that on the books, so, but
Well, we can put it on the books, but with 25 grand in the hole on the new equipment.
no, when you put it on the books that way, it offsets it, so
Offsets
it
it.
doesn't affect your budget.
As long as they don't close the books. Without getting any money. Okay, no problem on that, and do you have an idea when the RFP is going out for the Elm Street?
No,
Is that
no.
in a week or two, or is that, the
Well,
reason I'm
probably-
asking is, I know that there's a timeline. So we have to wait for bids to come in.
Yeah.
And it's gonna have to be a warrant, the budget committee's gonna have to approve. So, I mean, we're getting in crunch time here.
Yeah,
so if I have it edited and you guys review it, you can say yay or nay to send it out to the same people who normally bid on it, and I'll have to post it in the paper that bids are due a certain date, and call the office, so,
Yeah, I think we've always done 30 days on that.
yeah.
Yeah, if we can get it back by mid-January, then that's gonna be the drop dead date for the budget committee to review the warrant article, so, I mean, that puts the crunch on Audrey. But just so you know what the dates are, Audrey, that
Right,
getting to us, I mean, you better know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And, the draft warrants, have we got any other draft warrants besides that one that you reviewed today?
The communications agreement, the Carroll County, there's actually a standard warrant article that's part of the RSA. We have to use that language at the town meeting.
Okay,
All that is
it's not appropriating
it's not
funds, and it's not
appropriation
for the
money.
budget committee anyway. But how about any of the other warrants, we'll just,
I was
we're
going,
expecting towards the, the beginning of January to have the
I was-
drafts.
yeah, I was planning on drafting all of your typical ones for
Funds.
funding,
Trust fund
the
type
trust funds and the capital reserve funds. So I'll have those all printed out for you, and then, Dave, I was assuming you were gonna participate as far as, taking that much money or how much money out of the unassigned fund balance, and,
to make it easier when we get to the budget committee, if we're all together in agreement.
right, so,
So if that could be sometime in December, that would be nice.
I bet he pushed the okay button, Chuck.
Do you think that's possible, I think,
Yes,
December?
yeah, I can't quite see
Even
the
if it's late December, that's fine.
yeah, I can't quite see the calendar from here, so,
I mean, I know the 23rd is probably gonna kill the month of December. That's a Friday.
so the 20th, before Christmas, if that's the 20th on the Tuesday.
Yep.
We could do it in that work session. Are you available the 20th? Thank you.
Finish them off, at least in draft them out, and if you wanna send them to me to review ahead of time, that's fine. I'll help you with those as much as I
Okay,
can.
so we'll shoot for those for the 20th work session. That'll be an 11 AM work session.
And the last thing I want to remind you that the school policy review starts December 1st. So that puts a lot of burden on the town administrator, because the policy directs the town administrator to do a lot of things. So I'm just reminding you, Audrey, it's coming up, and I know you're booked, but I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
so
remind you that that policy's on your
Lisa
radar.
and I actually reviewed that policy, and I talked to Deanna last time, and it's kind of an outdated policy, you know, like, I don't know all the residents in town, I don't know who has kids. Deanna said she didn't really know them anymore, like last year when we were doing it, she's like, I don't really know these anymore, and so,
Well, the policy gives you like 5 or 6 people you can send it to, not just the town administrator. So you can just take another gather through it. It doesn't have to be the tax collector. So it has other people such as the principal, such as your welfare officer. I mean, those are just a few in there. There's 5 or 6 people in there that you can send it to review. But that starts in December. I just wanted to remind you.
I know, we were talking about it, but I really don't even know 5 or 6 people that have lived in town that long that know everyone that has kids. You know, it's kind of,
You're not gonna know every one of them. We knew that when we designed the policy. If we've got 5 or 6 we reach out to and they give us feedback, great, that's step one. Then the letters go out. And then we basically send the final list over to the school, and the truant officer goes out and does the inspection. All it is an attempt to document it, get the process moving, to get to a final number.
so, give me some recommendations of people.
It's right in the policy. The principal, the welfare officer, police chief, off the top of my head, the tax collector, it could be the deputy tax collector. And there's more, it's in the
Okay,
policy.
so I don't feel like I'm being heard. Those people, the principal probably does know, but those people don't know.
Even if they know one, Audrey,
Okay,
that the intent is not everyone, even if they know one, it's $15,000 to the town.
okay,
And I know one right now. So,
Yeah, so it doesn't mean you can't, the select board is also one of them, that's the other one.
okay, all right.
But
Yeah,
even if we
yeah,
get
yeah.
one from each one, Audrey, that's 5 people times
Yeah.
$15,000 each. That's a huge amount of money to the town, that's why we need to verify that. And I'm done with that, thank you.
Okay,
Steve,
I have a question. When is the Deanna's last day?
okay.
today,
Today? Has anything been discussed about maybe having a little reception for her or anything as a thank you, or
she didn't really want
She
anything.
didn't want
at her request, no.
no? Okay, just want to know.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
She did receive some very nice gifts from the board and the staff.
Okay.
I just had a request. When the meetings are put on the website for the times.
I can't hear you, Dave.
When the times for these BOS meetings are put on the website, could you delineate between the paperwork section and the?
Nope, by NHMA, if we're gonna have 2 of us sitting at this table, it's a select board meeting, it has to be advertised as such, that's it. Doesn't get into differentiation of different avenues, it's like we have to advertise it.
The advice I took from Ossipee was if, you know, kind of how they go, it's like, I called the town administrator over there, I said, how does that work? Your board of selectmen come in, they look at all their folders, and then they excuse themselves till like 4:30. So that's basically what you observed tonight, and
That's
what the
exactly
plan,
what I observed.
Right, and that's
why I
what-
asked.
that's where, how it's gonna go going forward. They'll meet at 3:30, and if they finish their folders at 4, they're just gonna be quiet till 4:30.
That's-
Yeah,
That's the
4:30 is
plan.
gonna be the start.
That was confusing.
The reason I asked is you did wait, and then 4:30 rolled around the regular time
Yeah.
you started, so, that be indication that you don't need to put it up on the web.
we still need to advertise the meeting starting.
Right, but you don't need to delineate between the two portions, if that's the way it's gonna go. Just, I mean, it's better for you guys anyway to not have the crowds in here talking.
Yeah, but the crowd aren't supposed to be talking during that entire hour, so it's like.
All right,
I'll put up a generic agenda that is similar to Ossipee that says that. And then the more detailed agenda can be at the door when people come in.
great.
Anybody got anything else? If not, we've had a request for a non-public. Make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A32C.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Don't forget to turn the thing on.
Thank you. I would have.
I totally forgot, I wanted to remind you too, and I totally forgot to. See everyone.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wade.
Folks.